Okay, so I wanted to do just a basic introduction to AI because I'm so enthusiastic about it. And I felt like there are other people out there that don't use it, aren't aware of it, and that's okay. But I just wanted to throw it out there and see if any of this is of use to anybody. So I'm going to talk about Bard, ChatGPT, Claude, and CoPilot, and these different AIs that are now out there and on the market, and what each one of them's good at and what they're not so good at, and how I use them. So I'm going to jump in with the value and show you how to do things. I'm going to show you how to create a process, table diagrams, how to search the internet. Although I'm sure you've done a lot of that yourself over the time, but with an AI at your side, how to analyze images, how to do language translation, create some images, and even talk to an AI. So let's jump in, see where we go. Okay, so I'm going to start with ChatGPT because that's the big famous one, and frankly, it's got the most functionality at this point in time. So there are two versions available. There is the free version, which is limited to ChatGPT 3, and then there's the subscription version, which is about £20 a month, which is GPT 4. Now, GPT 4 has more functionality, which I'll go through in a minute, but it also has better reasoning and it's got a better short term memory. So, what you'll find when you're talking to an AI is that it forgets what it was talking about originally. As you progress through the discussion, if you try and refer back to something at the start discussion, it gets confused. So with GPT 3.5, its short-term memory is around 8,000 words, whereas GPT 4's short-term memory is around 64,000 words. And I want to show you by giving these things a riddle, how it processes it and how it reasons. So the riddle I've got here is about 11 plus 2 equals 1. What does 9 plus 5 equal? Now, if you want to wrestle with that yourself and work out what it is, then you can pause the video because I'm about to tell you the answer straight off. We're going to put it in and see what ChatGPT 3 comes back with. And it has decided that it is about the number of letters. 9 plus 5 is number of letters in the word, and that's completely wrong. It's about a clock. We're asking if we add 2 to 11 a.m., then it gives us 1 p.m. And what does 9 plus 5 equals 2 p.m. So let's put that into GPT-4. This is the paid subscription version, and we'll see how it goes with that. So immediately it comes back and says the riddle is based on the idea of a clock. We're adding time wraps around the clock face, and it gives the right answer ultimately too. So that just demonstrates at a very high level why GPT-4 is smarter than 3. It's not that 3 is bad, it's just 4 is that much smarter and has better memory. So ChatGPT is really about content creation. It's great for reasoning, for discussing things with, for bouncing ideas off of, but also for creating documents and things. I use it a lot for processes. So just as an example here, I'm going to ask it to create a process for me. And we're going to say, please create a process for making a cup of tea. Keep it nice and simple. And here it is. It's coming back with the process now, the British ritual. It's giving the ingredients, the equipment, and here's the process. Okay. So this is great. You can do this with much more complex things depending on what it is that you need it for. I use it for project management, service management, things like that. But there really is no limit that I've found on its ability to give a really good process straight off the bat. You might want to tweak it for sure. And you can see here that it's actually got its numbering wrong on this particular one. It's all put ones as number counters. And you do see things like that happening, but it doesn't mean that the content is useless. So I might cut and paste that all out and into a Word document and then tweak it myself. Okay. But let's say I like that and I want to now make a change there. I want it to turn it into a table. Let's put that in. Can you turn this into a table for me? And let's see what it does. There we go. So it has taken the information that it's previously given to me and now put it into step action and then some additional notes. Again, you can then cut and paste this into another document elsewhere and edit it as you see fit. So the next thing I want to show you is how to create a diagram. Now for this, you do need ChatGPT 4. You can't do it on 3 because it has these additional features here. And one of them is plugins. So I have various plugins enabled that you can get from plugin store. And one of them is called Diagram Show Me. So make sure that that's enabled. So tick the box. Now you can see this little diagrams come up here showing that that plugin is now enabled, and you have to do it for each chat that you want it enabled on. And then I'm going to ask it something very simple like, can you create a process diagram for making a cup of tea? And let's see what happens. Here we are. And it has given it to me in a flow diagram manner. Because I didn't specify the type of diagram that I wanted. Maybe I should have told it that I wanted to do a particular type, but it's fine. This demonstrates really that we have the user, the kettle, the tea bag, the cup, the milk, the sugar, and how the process works with the interaction between them. I can then download these things, view the full on-screen diagram, and I can save that and use that. You can also edit it with an online tool here, so you can make changes to that if you need to. So next up, I want to show you internet searching. Now, there are other AIs out there, and we'll look at Bard in a bit, which is specifically designed and better at internet searching, I think, than GPT-4. But you'll find that if you come up to GPT-4 here, you hang over it, and you say, I want to browse with Bing, everyone's favorite search engine. You can make sure that that's ticked and that's now on. And then I can ask it a question about what's the latest news. We'll see how it handles that. Okay, it's come back with the latest news headlines, some sad facts from around the world, but it has correctly identified some recent events and given me links to these things. So if I want to click on them, I can go and do that. You can give it more significant tasks. So you can say, please analyze the internet and go and find me the latest statistics on so-and-so, and off it goes. The thing to remember about GPT and most AIs is that they use a model that has been trained off of the internet, but usually is really limited as to what they know to maybe a year or so ago. So they're restricted about what they know based on the learning model. So we're breaking out of that here, and we're sending the AI off into the internet to trawl for information that we're interested in. Okay, let's show you some image analysis. So I've got a couple of files here that I'm going to upload to ChatGPT and see what it makes of them. The first is just an image that I use about creating smart goals. It's purely a PNG image. Is no text is available in it for ChatGPT, so it has to do the OCRing itself. But it will be smarter than that. It will look at other aspects of the picture. So let's ask it, what is this about? And see what it says. There we go. It's coming back with the fact that it's smart criteria and then talks about what's in that document and then adds a little bit of analysis onto the end of that about smart criteria and context. I'm going to do it now with a different type of document. So I'm going to upload a document here that I have, which is an image about agile versus waterfall. It's just a simple description of the processes, but let's drop it in and see what happens. I asked it to describe the image. There you go. You can see waterfall versus agile. It's just a document that I use for other things. And there you go. It's picked up on that. That's purely an image. There's no text as such that it is scraping off there. It is OCRing it, and then talking about in the wider context what the image is. So there's some image recognition, which is really helpful if you've got a document and you want it to go through and pull out the information for you, but also analyze that information at the same time. Okay, so now I want to show translation, language translation, and how it works. I have a snippet from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne, which is in French, the original French, and I'm going to translate it into English and see how accurate it is. So let's just paste that bit in here like so. And I better ask it just to translate the above. If I can type straight the above into English, let's see what happens. The year is 1866. It was marked by a strange event, an unexplained and inexplicable phenomenon that no one has likely forgotten. So if I read the official translation, it says the year is 1866 and was marked by a bizarre event, an unexplained and inexplicable phenomenon that surely no one has forgotten. So I think it does a pretty good job there. I mean, that's a very small sample, but look at that. That's so much more advanced than what we had maybe 5 years ago, where the translation was wildly off. So I think it does a really good job. And we'll come back to translation in a little bit. Just as a brief aside, I want to give an anecdote about something that ChatGPT helped me with, because it might fire up some thoughts in your own head. I was having some real problems with an energy company that was, I believed, overcharging me. The problem was I had been to them several times and I'd asked them to review my account and make sure that it was all adding up correctly, and they were assuring me that it was. When I investigated it myself, it was just too much data, too many bills, too many transactions. There were transactions that they had made and then undone and doubled over on it, and it was just too much for my tiny little human brain to cope with. So what I did was I went into ChatGPT and I said, I'm going to give you 5 bills and I want you to analyze them and see if there are any inconsistencies. So it said, okay, can you give me the first bill? So I cut and pasted the text. That's all I did. It was PDF and I just cut and pasted the text in. I didn't do anything clever. And I did that. And at the end of each one, it say, okay, I'm ready for the next bill. So it did that. And at the end, it said, yes, I found some inconsistencies. I think that they owe you some money and they're overcharging you. And it was a significant amount. It was hundreds of pounds. So I then asked it to summarize those findings in an email that I could send back to the energy company. I did take that email and I sent it to the energy company and I asked them for a complete account review, even though they had done a complete account review several times. And with the information, they actually came back and said, yeah, we acknowledge that we made a mistake. And they really messed up my account and have caused me so many problems, but that's not what we're here to talk about. But the point being that I used ChatGPT to do what it's great at, which is analyzing information and giving me a summary of the results. So bear it in mind. Maybe you can use it for something like that. So I talked about image generation. Now, there is a part of ChatGPT called DALL-E. And DALL-E has a free version, which is DALL-E 2, and it has the paid version as part of GPT-4, which is DALL-E 3, which is better. So I'm obviously going to show you the better one. And you can see that it's DALL-E3. So to enable it on here, again, I just tick it, and now it knows I just want to create images, and I'm going to give it something to create, and it will create me a unique image that I can use as much as I like on the internet, and even variations on it. So I've asked it to create me a cartoon of a cute hamster sitting on an apple because that just came to mind. So let's see what happens and what it brings back. Okay, it surprised me. It's the first time it's ever come back with 2 images, but usually it's 4. Maybe it's not been so happy with me today for some reason. But there you go. So I can ask it to improve on version 1, or I can just download it. But those images don't exist anywhere else on the internet unless I'm very much misled. These are unique and created by DALL-E. So let me give you another example to show its versatility. Create me a cyberpunk scene of a street in the far future. Make it photorealistic. The thing is, it also corrects your spellings if you get those wrong, so it doesn't throw it too much. Okay, so he's come back here with two images. This one looks a little more cyberpunky to me. Whether it's photorealistic enough or not for you, that's down to you to decide. But then it's kind of given me the prompts that I can copy and use and get various variations of it if I wish in the future. But again, that picture doesn't exist anywhere but on my computer, and it won't exist anywhere the second that I hit delete. It's gone. And that's NFTs for you. Hey, welcome to my phone. So I want to show you here on an Android phone, that I'm sure it's the same for anything else. Those Apple users out there that seem to love their devices. How ChatGPT works, because it's slightly different. So let's just open up the app. And then you'll notice that it has the 3.5 and the 4 there as previously. But what's interesting is in the top right corner, you've got these headphones. So if I tap those headphones, it puts it into chat mode so that it'll talk to me. Hi, can you translate this into French for me? Hello, my name is Alan, and I'd like to climb trees and hang out with monkeys. So now it's just going to process that.
Of course, Alan. Here's your sentence translated into French. Bonjour, je m'appelle Alan, et j'aime grimper aux arbres et passer du temps avec des singes. Would you like help with anything else?
Now I'm going to show you how you can kind of have a conversation with it. And I've done this in two ways, but the first is you can ask it for training. So let's try that. Hi, can you give me some training on how to choose the best type of wine?
Certainly, Alan. Choosing the right wine can really elevate a meal or an occasion. Here are a few pointers. Firstly, consider the occasion. Lighter wines like Sauvignon Blanc or Pinot Grigio are good for casual gatherings.
I'm going to just interrupt it here.
Might suit a rich rip.
I would really like to focus on non-alcoholic wines, please.
Non-alcoholic wines are an interesting subject. They've become increasingly popular, and the quality has improved a lot over the years.
So I'm going to pause it there, but the point is you can keep asking it questions. I find that it's best to ask it to simplify the answers, otherwise I'll probably get what in its head is a page of text, but that's a bit too much for me sometimes. So I might say, can you give me 500 words on the best type of wine to choose with steak, for example? And then I might ask some follow-up questions, or I might ask it to give me brief answers rather than verbose answers, and then it will do that. Now, this next one's just a little bit of fun, especially if you've got kids, but you can do it yourself if you're feeling up to it. Let's try this. Hi, I want you to create me a choose your own adventure style story for kids. I want it to be based about Halloween and a spooky old house.
Absolutely, Alan. Here's a simple choose your own adventure style story for kids focused on Halloween and a spooky old house. Once upon a time, on a chilly Halloween night, Emily and Tom found themselves standing in front of the Spooky Hollow Manor. Rumor had it that the manor was haunted, but also that it held hidden treasure.
So I'm not going to continue with that. You don't need to know about a spooky old house. But it's interesting to know that it can create these stories completely from itself, and they'll always be different. And when it gets to the end of the paragraph or the chapter that it's talking about, it'll ask a question: do you want to open the green door or the red door? Do you want to go up the steps or into the cellar? Do you want to talk to the cat or pick up the broom? And it really is quite amazing, and kids love it. So that was just a little kind of aside. I don't know that anybody's going to be rushing to do that for themselves, although I have. But it's just a bit of fun. So now let's have a look at some of the other AIs out there, because ChatGPT isn't the only one, though it is my favourite, I'll be honest. A good one is Claude. So you can go to Claude.ai and you can, again, register for free. I've not paid a penny for this. And you can get access to it. Now, where it's different is you can upload documents, and those documents you can upload a number at a time. So it accepts PDF documents, text documents, CSV, etc., up to 10 megabytes each, and it allows the user to input up to about 75,000 words. So it's quite a lot of text that you can throw at it. You can't throw that much text at ChatGPT before it kind of freaks out and says that's too much. So that's what we're going to try here. We're going to upload a document and see how it goes. So I am going to upload a PDF document that I have here and see what it says about it. So this is from the Project Management Institute, and it's the summary of 2023 and all the kind of things that everybody should know. So I'm going to pop that in, and then I'm just going to ask it to summarize. And let's see what it comes back with. So you can see it's already pulled the name of the document at the top here. Here we go. So it's reading through that PDF document, which is quite a lot of pages. It's got quite a lot of imagery in it. It's pulling out the text and then it's summarizing it for me. So I do bounce between AIs and use them for different things. I check responses sometimes, but they have different strengths and weaknesses. And this is definitely a strength for Claude, is that you can upload documents, not just one document, many. So Claude didn't exist when I was doing the analysis of my energy bills that I was talking about, because I downloaded those in PDF in several files. I would have come here and uploaded them if it had existed at that point and say, please can you review these, and seen how it had gone. Okay, now the next one's Bard. So Bard is from Google, and you can hit it by going to bard.google.com, and I think again you just have to register with your Google account, and then you have free access to it. So again, I've not paid anything for this. And I'm just going to put in something that's going to search on a current topic. So the Rugby World Cup's underway at the moment with the final coming up. And I was just wondering, I have no idea what it's going to return here. But I thought, oh, what are the latest statistics from Rugby World Cup? So let's send it off into the internet and see what it comes back with. Bard is much better than GPT when searching the internet. It's kind of designed for it, and it's Google, so great surprise. So it is much better at giving an accurate answer in my experience. The other day, I asked GPT to confirm a statement made by the government and Department of Education as being true or not true, and it told me it was, and even cited sources. Then I put it through Bard, and Bard said it wasn't true, and then cited more relevant and better sources. That's just one example, so you can't say that that's exhaustive, but my experience has shown me that Bard is better at AI search content. So it's come back with the results, and it's telling me the top teams by points scored, and other information about the players and the teams and everything. And we can see who's got red cards and yellow cards, and it's pretty good response. I mean, I haven't checked that information. I don't know that it is 100% true, but I can assume at this point it is. It's just an example as well. Finally, I'm going to show you CoPilot. Although CoPilot for the majority of us doesn't actually exist yet, it's just a concept. That said, if you have the latest Windows update, you will notice this little icon down here called CoPilot Preview. I can't get it to work at the moment, and I'm not particularly interested in doing so, to be honest. But it allows you to talk to kind of 3.5 ChatGPT in the Windows window itself. I've played around with it, and it offers not a great deal at this stage because it is a preview and it's pretty slow because I think everybody in the world's hammering it. Um, but I think it's going to be really interesting with Microsoft 365 Copilot. So this is the official web page for it, and Microsoft have announced that it's coming in the latter part of 2023, and that people on the enterprise Office 365 accounts will be able to pay. I think it's potentially about 25 to £30 a month additionally to get ChatGPT integrated with the Microsoft environment. So that will allow you to do things such as creating meeting notes from um, a recording of a meeting. And you can also do things like use it in PowerPoint to create summaries of documents, and it will create all the slides for you. So we're led to believe. I mean, I've not touched it, obviously. And then in Word, you can throw things at it and ask it to create your SWOT analysis. But the point being that it will be integrated into Teams, into Word, into Excel, and hopefully it can now create me the pivot tables and charts that I always struggle with every time. I can ask it for help and it will knock those up for me. If it doesn't, then I ain't paying for it, that's for sure. Anyway, that kind of concludes what I wanted to go through. There's quite a lot covered there, but I felt like a lot of people just didn't know what it is. So if you've enjoyed it, if it's been helpful, do share it, do let other people know about it. And more than that, just have fun with it because it's an amazing technology. And honestly, I only see the benefits. Maybe I'm naive, but I can see massive, massive benefits for all of us. So we better ride the wave.